Canada. It's more than just a country of forests, lakes, and snow. It's a land where openness defines everything. Open skies that seem endless, open roads that lead you to hidden wonders, and open hearts that welcome you wherever you go. This is not just a trip. It's a journey through one of the most breathtaking lands on Earth. What makes Canada extraordinary isn't just its size. It's the feeling of freedom that fills its air. Mountains that rise like ancient guardians, forests that whisper old legends, and cities that breathe with creativity and culture. Every corner has a story, waiting for you to listen. Did you know the name Canada comes from the indigenous word Kannada, meaning village or settlement? Stretching across 6 time zones, it's the second largest country in the world, home to over 2 million lakes, more than the rest of the planet combined. Its coastline is the longest on Earth, where water and wilderness meet in endless harmony. Traveling through Canada is like crossing an entire world in one country. The Trans-Canada Highway stretches nearly 7,800 kilometers, a road that connects oceans, forests, and dreams. And here's something amazing. Despite its massive size, over 80% of Canadians live within 150 kilometers of the U.S. border, a country vast yet connected, just like its people. Join us on this cinematic journey across Canada. From rugged coasts to the peaks of the Rockies, discover stories hidden in the wilderness and the warmth of people who call this land home. This is Canada, vast, wild, and full of wonder. Subscribe to Whispering Roads and keep exploring the world with us. Canada shares the world's longest undefended border, a peaceful line stretching about 8,891 kilometers. But what truly defines Canada is contrast, the hugeness of the land, the quiet of its forests, and the warm welcome of its people. Head north, and the world changes. In Churchill, Manitoba, the polar bear capital, wildlife roams the ice and shore. Across the Arctic, ancient stone markers called Inuksuks still stand, guiding travelers through the endless tundra. Canadians are famously polite and unmistakably sweet-toothed. Canada leads global maple syrup production, and donut culture is practically a national pastime. If you love donuts, you'll feel right at home here. In British Columbia's Wells Gray Provincial Park, Helpkin Falls drops a dramatic 141 meters into a canyon carved by ancient ice. It's wild, raw, and often mist, which means quiet trails, thunderous mist, and the pure sound of the forest. Then there's Niagara, pure force on the border of Canada and the U.S. Shaped by retreating glaciers thousands of years ago, the falls still sculpt the rock today. Beyond the crowds, this place has long been sacred to Indigenous peoples. Ride the boats, walk the tunnels behind the water, and feel the ground tremble. From Arctic stone guardians to thunderous walls of water, Canada is a journey of extremes, and the adventure is just getting started. Now, let's map out the must-see places across this beautiful country. By night, Niagara glows, colors dancing on the mist like an otherworldly aurora. In winter, the falls turn into a frozen wonderland, frosted cascades, crystal icicles, and a thunder that rumbles beneath the ice. Before our next wild stop, here's Canada's softer side, the Okanagan Valley. A Mediterranean-like climate, over 200 wineries, and world-famous ice wine. Okanagan Lake stretches about 135 kilometers, perfect for boating, cycling, and sunset drives. Rolling vineyards, orchards, and mountains frame a shimmering ribbon of water, proof that Canada's beauty isn't only rugged, it's refined too. Take a short detour near Osoyoos, and you'll find Spotted Lake, a surreal mosaic of mineral-rich pools that form natural patterns in the summer heat. Quiet, strange, unforgettable. In the Thompson Valley, the land shifts to semi-arid drama, golden grasslands, rolling hills, distant ranges, and the winding Thompson River carving through it all. This is the homeland of the Secwepemc people, where bighorn sheep traverse the slopes. At Kamloops, the North and South Thompson Rivers meet, a rail-borne city with roots in the fur trade and a gateway on the Trans-Canada Highway, for sunsets that paint the hills in gold when the sky ignites with color. Rural British Columbia glows in a gentler light. Along the Caribou Highway, pickup trucks drift through dust on quiet gravel roads, semi-arid hills, open rangeland, and a silence that feels endless, rugged, tranquil, undeniably captivating. The Canadian Rockies aren't just mountains, they're nature's workshop. Stretching across Alberta and British Columbia, each park has its own character. Jagged peaks, living glaciers, and forests that seem to breathe. It's less about what you see and more about how these mountains make you feel. Raw, wild, completely alive. Banff National Park, often called the Crown Jewel, was established in 1885, Canada's oldest national park. Imagine the turquoise mirror of Lake Louise and Moraine Lake, reflecting snow-capped summits. The grand, castle-like Banff Springs Hotel has welcomed travelers for generations. For Indigenous peoples, places like Lake Minnewanka have been sacred for centuries. Wildlife thrives: grizzly bears, elk, and bighorn sheep. Ride the Banff gondola up Sulphur Mountain for a panorama that stretches across layered ranges. In the town of Banff, modern comfort meets wild beauty. Ready for more? The Icefields Parkway, one of the world's most scenic roads, threads past glaciers and cliff bands toward our next destination, Jasper National Park. It's the largest park in the Canadian Rockies, wilder and more remote, where dark skies blaze with stars and valleys carry the echo of ice and time. Near Jasper, the Athabasca Glacier, part of the Columbia Icefield, offers a rare front-row look at a changing world. Each year it recedes a little more, proof of a warming planet. Join a guided walk on the ice, listen to the wind, and watch for mountain goats scaling the cliffs. Athabasca Falls isn't the tallest waterfall, but few match its raw power. The river compresses into a narrow gorge, exploding into mist and echo, nature's heartbeat carved in stone. At Maligne Lake, the legendary Spirit Island sits like a dream, reached only by boat, and all the more magical for it. Turquoise water, glacial valleys, and a silence that feels sacred. Because Jasper is a designated dark sky preserve, nights are crystal clear. By day, you chase waterfalls. By night, you sail the Milky Way. Bring a warm jacket and a wish. On the western slopes, Yoho National Park reveals a quieter side of the Rockies. The Cree word Yoho is an exclamation of awe, and you'll feel it at Takaka Falls, the natural bridge over the Kicking Horse River, and mirror-still Emerald Lake. History runs deep at Kicking Horse Pass, a route that helped unite the country by rail. And at the Burgess Shale, 500-million-year-old fossils open a window to Earth's beginnings. Trails around Lake O'Hara guard pristine alpine scenes: emerald water, larch meadows, and peaks that feel close enough to touch. Permits are limited, and that's the point. Solitude survives here. Kananaskis country may fly under the radar, but it's no less breathtaking. Rugged ranges, quiet alpine lakes, and trails where you can walk for hours and meet only the wind. When you're ready to trade crowds for true stillness, come here. On these ridgeline trails, you earn the views. Bighorn sheep drift across the slopes, and, if you're lucky, a distant grizzly steps into the frame. When autumn arrives, reds and golds sweep over the hills, glowing beneath the Rockies' stony crowns. On Canada's eastern side, Algonquin Provincial Park is a different wilderness. Glass-calm lakes wrapped in dense forest. In fall, the maples erupt in reds, oranges, and yellows, turning the park into an unforgettable tapestry of color. Far in the northwest, Yukon still feels truly wild. Endless boreal forest, mountain walls, and glaciers running to the horizon. In winter, the northern lights ripple across the sky. In summer, the midnight sun keeps adventure going, nearly 24 hours of daylight to roam. Yukon's story isn't only nature, it's history. During the Klondike gold rush of the late 1800s, thousands chased fortune and found something else, a deeper bond with this land, and a freedom that still defines the North. Today, Yukon is a frontier of pure experience. Paddle the legendary Yukon River, hike the remote spires of Tombstone Territorial Park, and stand in awe before the creaking glaciers of Kluane National Park. Here, wild beauty meets a storied past at every bend. For those who push farther, the Dempster Highway is one of the planet's most remote road journeys, about 700 kilometers from Yukon into the Northwest Territories, across Arctic tundra, rugged ranges, and lonely river valleys. Built in the 1970s, this engineering feat becomes a winter lifeline, transforming into an ice route that connects northern communities. On Baffin Island, Mount Thor in Auyuituk National Park is the ultimate challenge. Over a kilometer of near vertical granite, one of the world's tallest sheer drops. Those who face it are rewarded with views that feel beyond human scale. Around Thor rises a realm of glaciers and fjords, Inuit homeland for centuries. Remote and resolute, this is where Canada's true north comes alive. A place shaped by ice, guided by tradition, and defined by courage. And on the Atlantic edge, Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia slows the heartbeat. Granite headlands, weathered homes, and a lighthouse standing watch over restless seas. A quiet full stop to a journey written in wind and water. This tiny fishing village is world known for the Peggy's Point Lighthouse, perched on ancient granite boulders sculpted by glaciers. Since 1915, its beam has guided sailors through turbulent Atlantic waters. Colorful boats bob in the harbor, salt-worn cottages cling to the rocky shore, and the ocean's rhythm sets the pace of life. Stand on the granite ledges, feel the spray, and you'll understand why Peggy's Cove is among Canada's most photographed places. Dramatic views, peaceful simplicity, and a beauty that lingers long after you leave. Farther north lies LAnseAuxMeadows, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the only confirmed Viking settlement in North America. Over 1,000 years ago, Norse explorers from Greenland landed here, pushing west to the edge of the known world. Reconstructed sod buildings and artifacts reveal a rare window into the Viking Age. On this windswept coast, the silence feels ancient, just as it did for those first arrivals. In GrosMorne National Park, UNESCO, Newfoundland's deep time rises to the surface. Fjord-like valleys and towering cliffs, carved by ancient ice, create a landscape that feels otherworldly. At the tablelands, Earth's exposed mantle rock is thrust up from the deep, one of the few places on the planet where you can see this. Drift a boat on Western Brook Pond, watch sheer walls climb into the sky, and read the story of our planet written in stone. Follow the SeaToSky highway as it threads the coast and pulls you toward the mountains ahead. Granite walls on one side, deep blue water on the other. Every bend feels like a reveal. Welcome to Squamish, often called Canada's outdoor capital, where mountains meet the sea. The Stawamus Chief, one of the largest granite monoliths on Earth, rises above Howe Sound. Sacred to the Squamish Nation, the Chief draws climbers and hikers to its steep 700-meter ascent. Reach the top and the views will stop your breath. Just up the road, Shannon Falls tumbles 335 meters down smooth granite slabs, snowmelt-fed, cool, and refreshing. It's the perfect pause to stretch your legs and breathe in the mountain air. Farther north, Brandywine Falls drops 70 meters into a dramatic basalt canyon, ancient volcanic rock carved by rushing water. Framed by dense forest, it's a quiet, powerful reminder of the Coast Mountains' fiery past. On the SeaToSky, you reach Whistler, home to the 2010 Winter Olympics and the massive Whistler Blackcomb. Winter means world-class skiing. Summer brings mountain biking, alpine hikes, and open-air festivals. Once known as Alta Lake, the town's name nods to the whistling marmots that call these slopes home. Just beyond Whistler lies Garibaldi Provincial Park, named for Mount Garibaldi, an ancient stratovolcano. Turquoise lakes, glacier-cut valleys, and wildflower meadows make it a backcountry paradise. especially in late summer when the trails glow with color. High above the tree line, alpine meadows burst with wildflowers. Trails like Panorama Ridge and Black Tusk open to sweeping views, blue glaciers, rugged knife-edge peaks, and valleys carved by ice. These aren't just lookouts. They take you deep into silence, where the wild still feels untouched. A bit farther along the highway, Joffre Lakes reveal Canada's most surreal glacier-fed waters. As you hike, 3 lakes unfold: lower, middle, and upper, each brighter than the last, their electric color created by sunlight reflecting off fine glacial silt. At trail's end, the Mateer Glacier rises between jagged spires, the very source of Joffre's impossible blues. Stand here, and you can feel time itself: rock, ice, and gravity shaping British Columbia's interior. In Vancouver, nature isn't a day trip. It's the backdrop of everyday life. Mountains and the Pacific wrap the city. Bike the Stanley Park seawall, or hit trailheads minutes from downtown. Adventure is always within reach. Then there's Toronto, a city of momentum. Cultures converge in Kensington Market, with street art and global flavors. The Distillery District turns brick warehouses into cafes and galleries. Over it all, the CN Tower marks a skyline built on ambition. In Ottawa, Canada's story comes to life. Parliament Hill stands over the river, a symbol of democracy. In winter, the Rideau Canal transforms into the world's longest skating rink. Proof that the capital has a playful side, too. Montreal blends French and English influences with ease. Wander the cobblestones of Old Montreal. Then feel the pulse of festivals, galleries, and kitchens, shaping a forward-looking city. From Mont-Royal, history and modern life meet in one skyline. Quebec City feels like a fairy tale brought to life. Within the old walls, Chateau Frontenac crowns a maze of beautifully preserved streets, an unmistakable touch of Europe and North America. Time slows here, inviting you to wander and breathe in the atmosphere. From the thunder of Niagara Falls to the serene Canadian Rockies, the wild horizons of the Yukon, and the coastal peaks along the sea-to-sky highway, Canada is openness in motion. If this journey sparked your curiosity, like the video, explore more trips on our channel, and subscribe for the next adventure with Whispering Roads.